Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the beginning of the week number 16 in this Road to 200k challenge. Today this video is going to be a little bit shorter than usual because there are very few trades to be accounted for, and I just wanted to start by mentioning two topics that I failed to mention in the previous video of the wrap-up of week number 15, which is I forgot to mention that this covered call that I placed on Pfizer last week, it expired worthless, right? And the reason is that basically I forgot because of all the explanation about what has been going on with my strategy in terms of SLOD and our attempt to lower the average price. But as you can see right here in last week, the calls on Pfizer, they basically expired worthless, all right, value 0. So we received with the money, apologies, in this case the collateral was freed, and so I'm now free to sell more calls on it. However, I decided against it because at the moment, given the current price, as you can see right here, there are no calls available, or there are, but only at 1 cent for the strike price that matches our cost of acquisition, which is 28.5. and even if I extend the maturity for a bit longer, it doesn't improve that much. So it's only 2 cents for a 2-week call option, and if I extend even more for 3 weeks after, it's the same 2 cents per stock, per share. And so it doesn't make much sense now to place any calls on it, and so let's wait and see if the stock recovers. And if the stock recovers in the meantime, of course the price or the premium of these calls will go up, and then we'll be in a much better position to sell the calls on this stock. As for Ford Motor Company, we also decided against selling any calls because currently the price of 11.25 does not allow us to sell calls at the strike price that we wanted, which is 13.50. and even if we extend the maturity for example 3 weeks after, we only receive 1 cent. So we will be committing our shares, and we locked in this price for the exchange of 1 cent per share. It's clearly not worth it, and so let's wait and see what happens. Currently the stock is up for 2.64%, and now if this trend continues, hopefully it will continue, and we'll be able to get closer to the strike price that we want, which is 13.50, and then we'll be able to sell calls at a much better premium. Another point that I didn't mention from last week, because as you saw in the previous video, I needed to make some calculations in terms of accounting for the commissions that I paid for the acquisition of these SLOD shares, right? And so because these commissions were very low, it was just around $1 per each trade, and so the cost of acquisition did not change because we are talking about a position that it's already in excess of $160,000, and so on a cost basis, of course, and so at this case it simply didn't change. So the average price of acquisition currently, before the stock or the shares that I bought today, the price as of the video of last week was $81.97. Of course, we are not accounting for the premiums we received, because the premiums we received from the calls that we sold, because of course this is that will be considered as our profit from getting the exposure to the SLOD shares. And so we'll have to see now what will be the current average cost, given that we bought additional shares. We bought 120 more shares today, right? And so our current position is 2090 stocks. But as you can see here, as I pull up the option chain, we are unable to sell any call options at a price of $82, which would be the price that allow us at least to almost break even, or having a very small capital gain on selling these shares. And even if I extend the maturity, for example, for 3 weeks from now, all right, if I sell calls a 3-week call, you will see that even then we cannot reach the 82 strike price. And so it doesn't make any sense for us to go any longer, because any further in terms of maturity, because at this point in time, as you see, even 4 weeks after for calls maturity on December the 6th, for basically so it's 4 weeks from now, these are not yet available. And because we will continue to buy more shares, this strike price will no longer be relevant at some point. And so it makes sense for us to continue to buy more shares to make sure we lower the average cost of acquisition. And then if the price is still too far away from it, as it is, we can try to sell some calls and see what happens. But for the time being, this is not possible, so we'll stick to our plan of continuing to buy more shares, and that is it. And for now, as you can see, these are the shares that we bought. We bought at a average price of 65.49, and we paid a fee of $1.01. And so let's input this in our scoreboard. And so today is November 11th, all right, and this does not have, of course, any maturity. Let's just copy this, right, and here this actually is 65.49. Let's just input here the quantity is 1.2, because the shares we bought were 120, so in terms of contracts it would be equivalent to 1.2 contracts on options. And so this is the way we are going to account it for. And as you can see, this is the cost of the shares, which, as you'll be able to see here as well, it matches the value. So it's 6549 plus 1309.8, so it's 7,858.80 cents, which matches perfectly our value here. So this will be 0, right? And the commission was the same as many times before. We'll keep this at 0 because this doesn't care, all right? And now we are going to basically copy this here, right? Because this will be the price, the acquisition price, basically, that we have to account it for when it comes to the average price of acquisition, all right? Because we need to account it for the fees and commissions we are also paying. And so now that we have input this on our scoreboard, we are able to see how much we be able to lower our average price. Remember, it's $81.97, and so now what I'm going to do is basically to put here, open two parentheses or two brackets, and so now let's do this, minus sign. This is the current price that we will consider, times the number of contracts. And this is my bad because I pressed the escape button by mistake, so let's just do this again. right? So minus, and here, right, times 1.2 contract, as you can see right here. And now we're going to have to go to the denominator and add to the denominator the number of contracts that these shares are about. And so this is the new average price. So it basically came down by 95 cents, so it's basically $1. Now the new average price is 81 cents. All right, and I would be very, very happy if it was possible for me to sell these shares at the strike price of 81, if I would sell a call at 81, because as you can see, it's not yet available here, not even 4 weeks after. But as you can imagine, it would be only a loss of 2 cents per each share, and of course I will not be able to sell those contracts at the total number of shares that I have, because it's 2090, so this 90 would be spared. But if 20 contracts would be placed, we would be able to sell get only a slight loss of $40, and so it's not significant at all. I would be happily take that deal, but for the moment it's not possible, so we'll continue to push and press forward with our strategy. And yeah, basically this is it for the time being. This is all. Over the week, depending on how the prices develop, if the prices continue to rise for Ford and Pfizer, of course, then we will be able to perhaps sell some calls on them, and so for sure we'll be able to do that. But for now, this is not possible. And the same, of course, goes for SLOD. We will try to sell some calls on it, at least if it's possible, to make some money while we wait until the stock continues to go up. Yeah, for sure we will do that. But for the time being, this is all. Feel free to leave your comments and suggestions below in the comment section. Also, feel free to like the video and subscribe. You can also send me a private message on LinkedIn in case you have any questions about the challenge and of any other videos of this series. And yeah, we'll reconvene at the end of the week to see what happened and whether there are any relevant developments to account for. And I'll see you all in the next one.